Well, I've been a part-time resident on Galiano since 1993.
Every time I was coming here for work, I felt more like I was coming home. It's just a very special, very healing place.
It's just a stone's throw from the city, but it's like a completely different world.
But of course, we don't have a doctor now, and so that's a concern.
Okay, well, Dr. Beaver left last May, and he left because he found better opportunity for himself and his family on Salt Spring.
He wanted to be with his family, which is certainly understandable. He really loved living in the community, but it was just not possible.
Well, the community was very sad. Many people really liked Dr. Beaver, and it was a big shock and a disappointment for them that he left.
The Galiano Healthcare Society was established to look after the facility, to create a facility, the healthcare center for the residents and the visitors to Galiano.
I just came from the medical center myself right now, and they've always been there when I needed them.
When we have had to use it, it's been quite effective.
Both my husband and myself have used the healthcare facilities here, and we've been satisfied with them when they're fully staffed, of course.
And the community has been very active even in keeping this building for 20 years now, and we're doing well as a society. We're doing well as in terms of what we provide. It's just that we need a doctor full time.
It's quite a problem because it's kind of a circular event. When we don't have a full-time doctor, it means that people will try and get a family doctor somewhere else. And what that does is it suggests that we don't need a full-time doctor here because people are going elsewhere.
Use your clinic, use the healthcare here as much as possible, because the more patients use this clinic, the more times you use it, we are demonstrating to the Ministry of Health and VIHA that this clinic is essential and we need it, and we do need it.
When I need a family doctor, usually I go into Sydney.
I go to Vancouver.
We've had to get by with what's called locum doctors, which are doctors that just come for a week or 2 weeks, hopefully, or a short length of time.
You know, the people on the islands pay taxes to the provincial government for health care, and they're entitled to medical services.
But if there aren't any locum doctors available out there who want to book Galiano, then we don't have a doctor. But we've been pretty successful in having a locum doctor here most of the time.
We're never sure how far ahead we're going to have locum doctors. So it makes things kind of always up in the air, and that's not a good feeling to have. But I don't think anybody anticipated that it would take so long for us to find a replacement.
So it has affected us for continuity of care, because when you're seeing a different doctor every time, it's not quite the same as having your own family doctor.
We have largely a population that's over 50. And as you get older, of course, you know, your health care needs become more. And also you get a little bit, start feeling a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more frightened when you get sick. And that kind of person-to-person rapport with a family doctor is increasingly important.
It's also affected a bit of the emergency services because Dr. Beaver was able to be on call.
People call 911 more because there's no one at the clinic who can serve them, who can get what they need. We haven't been able to take a patient when we have them to the doctor on many instances because we haven't had anyone here. And so no doctor or no nurse practitioner, and we have a patient who needs further medical care, we have to take them off island.
It's hard for every place in Canada right now to find a doctor.
If we don't have those kinds of facilities available, people aren't going to want to move here, and that's a big problem.
There's weeks where there isn't anyone to even administer a simple shot.
As for how Galiano would do in an emergency, like a situation where there were no ferries and there was a big earthquake and stuff like that, there's quite a delay in time in getting the medical services you need. Well, you might wait 4 hours to get a stitch in your thumb.
I mean, obviously having kids, healthcare is pretty important to me. If it's 8 o'clock at night and my kids get hurt, I need to know that there's somebody around, that there's somewhere I can take them. I definitely need a doctor, full-time doctor, for sure.
We're asking people to attend our public meeting on July 24th, and we're going to talk about what the situation is, you know, a kind of a review of the year, where we're going, what direction we want to take. We're asking people is to support the fundraising activities, to buy tickets for the raffle, to keep posted about what we're doing to raise money, to become a member of the healthcare, to donate, to stay attentive to what's happening with your healthcare society. And if we do need to take further action, we will inform the community of how the community can participate in keeping on the healthcare here.
We just hope we get another full-time doctor as soon as possible, and then we can sort of stop being so anxious and worried about this situation.
I would think if you lived here all the time, having a doctor here all the time is fairly important.
Yeah, it's very important, I think.
I think you need a full-time or a close to full-time physician on Galiano, especially if they're trying to get growth in the community.
And that's a big problem.